Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today we are going to be doing another Cobra Kai related video, and today we are going to be doing our top 5 characters in all of Cobra Kai. Now, this isn't based on strength, as I'm going to be making a personal ranking video on that later on this week, but rather today's video is going to be talking about the top 5 best characters in the entire series. You know, which characters are the best in the series, which ones have the best arcs, and why are they such good characters. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to personally name your own top 5, be sure to comment it down below, as I am curious as to see what your opinions are. Now, with that being said, let's get into the intro, and I hope you guys, once again, do enjoy the video.
Hey, collecting rings like I'm Sonic. Bitches wanna party. My wrist getting heavy, so I got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, he's coming over. Yeah, we respect.
Now, this guy originally was going to be my number 5, but I decided to essentially just drop him and let him be in the honorable mentions, and I feel like this character is already good enough to be in my honorable mentions anyway, so let's just go over him. Now, reason why Chosen is in here and in this spot and not in the top 5 is because, well, yes, his arc is good, and him finding his path of redemption and even going on to help his old rival, but still holding the honor and respect characteristic that his Karate Kid 2 self still had, is a great dynamic, and I personally love it. However, the problem here is that Chosen, we just haven't gotten enough time with the character to really have him go any higher, so he's really not going to go any higher other than honorable mentions or number 6. So with that being said, my honorable mention, or potentially my old number 5, would have been Chosen, and now we can get into the real top 5. Now, number 5, I have Crease. Now, the reason he's here is because he's Karate Kid's best antagonist, and in Cobra Kai, we even got a whole backstory in reasons as to why he was the way he acted. War got into his head, and now he's stuck with this mentality as it was the key to survive, and we see this survival mentality get Crease out of situations, which then he applies to the next generation of Cobra Kai, and we see from a certain perspective that Crease's mentality and way of training actually helps keep Cobra Kai alive. Although the humanity factor is kind of removed, Cobra Kai's way of thinking is, well, no one shows you mercy, so why should you? Which at that point, it's, you know, screw the humanity and the human side of things when it comes to fighting. You know, as long as you're keeping your head above water, you'll be alright. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll be alright. We see this specifically in the situation at the school fight, where had Miguel shown no mercy, he would have never gotten crippled, and that whole situation wouldn't have ever escalated to something that big. However, logically, you know, kids shouldn't be acting like this, and having this war mentality, it shouldn't just be like this. However, from a certain point of view, I definitely can see where Crease is coming from, but he is a little bit of a silverback gorilla for having this mentality and taking war to a whole other level. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to move on to the number 4 spot. Now, number 4 is Daniel LaRusso, which I can honestly say Daniel is at his best in Cobra Kai. Not only having to face his problems without Miyagi and him elevating to be a sensei, but even beforehand, we even see Daniel being the reckless kid that we saw back in Karate Kid 1 before Miyagi even took him in. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Daniel's an asshole. What the hell? You saw what he was doing to Johnny? I mean, the whole point, literally, guys, is to have Daniel be an asshole and be reckless and stupid until he realizes that he's kind of messed up. Amanda's there to kind of help him remind that. He then realizes that in order to basically feel even kind of close to Miyagi, he's gonna have to, you know, take out the old uniform and get back into karate, which even leads into him helping out a student similarly to how Miyagi helped Daniel. Robbie was a lost and desperate kid, just like how Daniel was desperate to basically just get away from these guys and wants to get Johnny and them off his head. But for Robbie, it's a little bit different, as, you know, he has different characterization, but the same idea is still there. We see how important Miyagi is to Daniel, and him just being influenced by Miyagi-Do's way of teachings and its philosophy, and Daniel embracing it and trying to pass it down to the next generation. Then Daniel proceeds to grow even more in season 2, experiencing and facing responsibilities of him, you know, not only having work, not only having wife and kids, but also now teaching karate. Realistically, no man should be able to carry all this responsibility, and Daniel's life just kind of looked too perfect. So I think what they did in season 2 is kind of dumb it down and make Daniel a little bit more realistic, not being able to maintain this balance, but trying to make it work. Now, a lot of people, when talking about season 2, this was kind of their main complaint. It was like, oh, relationship problems with Daniel and Amanda. But realistically, that should happen. I mean, Daniel has too much in his life. So, although it is relationship problems, these problems what kind of ground Daniel and make him more realistic. Now, in season 3, his arc is a little different. Daniel is trying to basically make things better after screwing up, and leads into him screwing up even more with Robbie. Although he did have the right mentality and had the right mindset, the execution and timing was off, and this led into Daniel falling off with Robbie. Daniel also has to suffer consequences from the school fight via losing business from his job, which leads into him getting closure over Miyagi's death and him really elevating as a sensei even further with that letter scene in Okinawa. Daniel, over the course of Cobra Kai, never really got closure and just constantly was reminded of Miyagi and got sad about it because he can't do what he did. But that's not the point. Daniel needs to be his own sensei. He needs to follow Miyagi-Do's philosophy, but be his own sensei. He can't be Mr. Perfect. Daniel has to realize that, and this is what his arc is in season 3, just him becoming his own sensei. Though I know it kind of sounds simplified, it's a really great arc, and him getting closure over Miyagi's death with this letter scene is great, and the letter scene specifically will forever be Daniel's best scene in the entire series. And the one flaw that everyone had with was how Daniel's an asshole. Well, the thing is, the person that he was an asshole towards, they forgive each other by the end of season 3 and end up working together. So that basically gives you no reason to hate Daniel at this point. I think Daniel is the GOAT, and yeah, this is why he's number 4. Now time to move on with number 3. Number 3 is Miguel Diaz. Now, I've already made a video analyzing him as a character, but I'll briefly say my 2 cents here. Miguel is a character who perfectly embraces that of the best of Johnny's Cobra Kai, which is already a philosophy that in my opinion is the best out of the 3 if you would choose between Crease, Daniel, and Johnny's. We not only see Johnny's Cobra Kai showing students that they are strong and they feel strong like what Cobra Kai does to a much less violent degree, but also having that bit of mercy Miyagi-Do embraces. We see signs of him embracing the old Cobra Kai, him, that being Miguel. Specifically, we see it in the All Valley, aka the finale of season 1, where, we see Miguel doing whatever it takes to win, embracing no mercy. And we even see in season 2 being manipulated by Crease and kind of being manipulated by Tori. However, Johnny manages to snap him out of this and basically show how sometimes it's okay to show mercy. However, this also led into him costing nearly his life and costing him to be paralyzed in season 3. This then leads into Miguel getting another comeback arc, which he already went from 0 to hero quite literally when the show begun, but now has to start from square one again, being paralyzed rather than being a nerd. But he is determined and strong-willed, just like his season 1 self, just like how he always been during the show. He not only managed to wake up from the coma by literally fighting, we saw that fight symbolizing his battle to survive, and even while being paralyzed never gave up and managed to walk again and even learn how to kick by the end of the season 3 finale and beat his former bully that got even stronger than ever because he trained in the same school as Miguel. What's great about Miguel as well is that he never really changes, I guess. He is conflicted at times, like how I said in the All Valley and Coyote Creek, but Johnny snaps him out of it and he returns to the light. This leads into Miguel literally trying to give Hawk a second chance and telling him to try and train with Johnny, and also trying to converse with Tori when they encounter each other outside where Tori's about to go into work and Tori misunderstands Miguel. And all Miguel really wanted to do was try and help Tori, but Tori took it the wrong way. Miguel, I guess, is the main character of Cobra Kai, and we have the most screen time with him that isn't like Johnny. And we get to see him just being this kind-hearted, determined kid and being the GOAT of Cobra Kai. This is why he's number 3, and now we can move on with our number 2. Number 2 is Hawk. Hawk has a comeback arc similar to Miguel, but unlike Miguel, he slowly spirals down and lets the power get to his head. You see, Miguel conflicts, but Johnny snaps him out of it, whereas Hawk quite literally has the opposite arc. Hawk is an easily impressionable kid who just lets the power get to his head, which is perfect for Crease to manipulate, which he does during season 2, and he spirals down, stealing the Medal of Honor. trashes Miyagi-Do, but in sacrifice loses not only his best friend but also his girlfriend. Dimitri even humiliates him and even beats him up in the season 2 finale, and even with all of this taken into account and him even snapping Dimitri's arm in season 3, he still shows signs of confliction. Not only did Miguel try to get to him, not only did Johnny try to get to him, but Crease even just left Hawk out of everything when he made up the plan to catch the snake and Robbie just caught it and now he gets all the glory. This led into Hawk then embracing his true self, realizing he messed up and is looking around him after dabbing up Kyler, his literal bully. Hawk turns to the light, and this is an arc built up with 3 whole seasons. And that is why Hawk is my second favorite character in all of Cobra Kai. Now, if Hawk had a whole 3 seasons worth of build up and characterization, who's gonna be number 1? Well, I think number 1's pretty obvious. It's gonna be Samantha. Bro, who the f would put Samantha LaRusso at number... Okay, no. Anyways, Johnny Lawrence. Johnny Lawrence is number 1. I think that was pretty obvious. Johnny Lawrence, in my opinion, is the best Cobra Kai character and the one who's had the biggest change of heart in the series and probably the most time we've spent other than with Miguel. Going from the reckless kid in Karate Kid 1 to spiraling down to a bad spot and constantly being haunted by the past. He would overcome this by bringing something back from the past, however, it's going to be different this time. Johnny isn't going to be like Crease, and over the course of the seasons, we see how Johnny elevates as a sensei and literally becomes, in my opinion, the best sensei in the entire series. Johnny Lawrence, to me, is just so human, where we see him having his highs and, you know, being cocky, just like how he was in Karate Kid 1, but him being at a low point and sad as hell. It's an emotional roller coaster that we see Johnny go on, and as we see it, it's almost like we're on the roller coaster with Johnny. We also see Johnny and Daniel's rivalry just continue in this series, but in the end is forgiven thanks to Ali being the middle party and showing them that they are more alike than they think, and both of them were kind of wrong back then. Johnny also gets closure with Ali, which is great, and we even see Johnny finding love in Carmen, who is the mother of Miguel, who Johnny was already kind of like a father to anyway. Johnny is the best character in Cobra Kai in my opinion, the most enjoyable character in my opinion, and has the best arcs in the whole series, and this is why he's my favorite. Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to be leaving this video off, and if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, and subscribe if you are new and hit the bell icon, as that is greatly appreciated. The majority of my subs are just kind of people who subscribe for Naruto with us, which you guys should probably just unsub anyway, because I'm trying to, you know, get more Cobra Kai followers, so if you are interested in more Cobra Kai content, feel free to subscribe. Hit the bell icon again, that way you are notified and updated when I upload, and be sure to follow me on Twitter, that will be linked in the description, and shoutouts to Endless Requiem for making my intro. Now with that being said, I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Peace out, have a nice rest of the day, everybody.